to another E36 project video. My name is Brett and I have Ben behind the camera helping me today. We're going to be changing the clutch today in the E36, and I got a bunch of stuff here on the bench that we're going to be going over, replacing. Essentially it's a few easy steps of dropping the exhaust, dropping the drive shaft, dropping the transmission, and then finally we're going to get to the clutch, rear main seals, and some stuff that's kind of a while you're there type of thing. So what I got here on the bench is some new manual transmission fluid. I got a rear main seal, gaskets, bearings, stuff like that for the exhaust. And then what I have here I picked for the clutch kit is actually going to be kind of it's an eBay clutch really. It's an FX clutch that I've read somewhat good things about. It's a stage 2. So we're gonna see how our luck is with that. So check back in a couple months and see if the car's still running. I always answer comments. So comment if you guys have any questions. We'll get right into it. As always, find the links below for a description of everything I use, tools and everything. Let's get right into it. So we've been working on the exhaust the whole time. All of the studs, bolts were rusted, so we cut each one off. Everything is super rusty, so I think we should be able to pull the exhaust out now. I don't think it's going to come off that easy either.
The gasket's loose.
Is it?
Where's that bar?
So the exhaust took us forever because everything was super rusty, as well as the studs being just completely freaking rusted on. So we had to cut all those bolts off, and we'll have to restud those. So that's going to be fun. But we got the drive shaft exposed. But essentially what we're going to do is take the bolts off the diff. This drive shaft seems pretty weak too. We're going to take them off the front, so let's get to it, Ben. Let's do it. So this is a 16. Alright, so the point we're at now, we had drive shaft exhaust all out and everything, obviously. We unbolted all this stuff, so the whole motor and transmission is really sitting on this track right now, and we're going to kind of slowly tilt it forward a little bit, and then we're going to disconnect the shift linkage, and then we're going to start trying to get to these bolts up top. So yeah, we'll start doing that. A little. Alright, so we're going to disconnect these two linkages. There's just a little tab here. I already popped that guy off. That's the one. And then we should be able to just pull this right out. Can you see that, Ben? So pull that out. We're just going to put this clip back in here so we don't lose it. And then I'm not exactly sure where the other one is. I think it's, let's see, it's on the same side. Can't really see up in here. A few things before we start trying to take the bolts out. There is a clip on the side here. We don't want to forget to take that out, so we're going to do that first. And it's on the passenger side. There's a little clip there. We still have the master cylinder, the slave cylinder connected. Yeah. Bad.
I can see you turning. I can't see what you're pulling out.
Alright, so this is the part that everyone has trouble with, and kind of what I was worried about the most is getting the top 2 bolts off, which are these weird inverted Turks. So basically have 3 foot worth of extension. We've lowered the motor, we've lowered the transmission a little bit, so it's kind of leaning like this. So we're gonna try to get our first one. This is gonna be there should be 2 starter bolts. So we're gonna go for the starter bolt first. I don't know if you can see that at all, Ben. His transmission. Last one, we got the last one out here. We're going to try to split the transmission from the engine here shortly. Alright, Ben's pulling her out now. A little more. A little more. Let's see what's going on. Hold on. Alright, so we're just about to pull her out all the way. We were kind of stuck. The starter didn't want to come out. Ben's going to manhandle this thing like it owes him money. And it's going to pop right out, I think. I think that's it. Alright, so day 2 now. Got a little dark last night, and we're replacing the rear seal, rear main seal, and the bearing before we're going to put the new flywheel on. So I'll show you guys how I'm doing that. What I did here was I kind of drilled a hole in the side of the rear main seal, and then I'm just kind of working it out to where I can get some pliers on it and pull it out all the way. And then we're basically just going to press that new one in there. So I'm going to clean this out to make sure that it seals good. I'm also going to check to make sure that I didn't ruin this piece when I was kind of prying it out. I try to be really careful. It feels very smooth still. So when you're prying that out, you want to make sure you don't mess the edges of this up. That's going to mess your seal up. So what I'm going to do, get our Alright, so to get the bearing out, I'm going to try this paper towel trick, shoving a bunch of paper towels in there that are wet to try and push it out from the inside. Boom! Alright, I just gotta get all these damn paper towels out. Alright, so now that this guy's all cleaned up, what we're going to do is grease a brand new one. I didn't use the one that came with the kit. I bought one that I trust a little more. So hopefully this will do better. So what we're going to do is... well, that one isn't extremely easy. And what we're going to do is take a 22, 23 would probably work better, and tap it in the rest of the way. So it should be good to go. I'm going to put the flywheel on now. Alright, there should be one that's the guide pin goes into. So this one is a 14-pound flywheel versus the stock 24-pound. It's actually 14.5 pounds. Now we're going to torque these down. Alright, so now we're going to put the clutch disc in. We're going to use the alignment pin. Make sure we get it centered. Alright, now we are going to use some blue Loctite on these guys. Alright y'all, so the next thing we're going to do here is change the pivot pins, clips, the throwout bearings. We're going to change the oil in the transmission, and we're also going to change, I said, the throwout bearing. You can kind of see here how worn down this pivot pin is, and that's going to determine where your clutch actually catches. So we got a new one, we got a new clip, we'll put that in. Alright, we're just going to give that a few taps with a piece of wood, and that'll be in, and then we'll put the throwout bearing in. That's all set. On to replacing the oil. It's a pretty good color. Alright, so we're going to put some of this manual transmission fluid in here now. It's kind of got like a red color to it almost. Yeah. And then we'll replace the seal and throw her in. And we should be able to take this out with a screwdriver. Alright, so that's kind of the angle I'm going to go in on. Just come right out. We got our new one. Slide that guy right on there. Should slide in nice. We're going to take a socket and press that in just a little bit more, and we should be good to go. Awesome. Alright guys, so the transmission is in. We did a little test run just to make sure everything sounds alright. Also got the drive shaft in, so all that's left is putting the exhaust on, and we're good to go. So thanks for watching guys, and stay tuned for more.